Hello, my name is Jenny, and it's so weird but also exciting at the same time to be recording myself and share my residency application process with you all. Over the past 4 years, I've been a medical student that's been, learning and trying to navigate the emotional roller coaster that comes with applying to residency. And I'd say that it was one of the most intense, but also one of the most rewarding parts and chapters in my life. But I really think that, or I really hope that this will resonate with some of you out there who may be going through the same thing, or is just curious about what this process is like. And thankfully I vlogged everything. So I will let you all know that, spoiler alert, I did match, and so I'm now editing this video as an incoming resident, and the clips that you're seeing now is little Ginny as a third-year medical student, and it reminded me of just how confusing and overwhelming this entire journey can feel. In this video, I'm gonna share what the residency application process was like for me. So everything from electives, applications, and interviews, and putting my final rank order list together. I'll also be talking about a pretty big curveball, which was pivoting specialties close to the application deadline and the stress that came along with making that decision. So whether you're just starting clerkship or maybe you're deep in the match process already, I hope that this gives you some reassurance and a few practical tips. And stick around till the end to see which specialty I applied to. Oh, and also my live reaction to finding out where I matched. Oh, my heart is pounding.
Oh, my heart's pounding too.
This is my super dramatic segue into a quick disclaimer. I don't think that there is one single right way to do this. I'm sharing my own experience in the hopes that it helps even just one person. So please do your own research, talk to residents, mentors, family, and friends, and most importantly, get to know yourself. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Okay, so first things first is let's lay some groundwork. What are the components of the application? I don't know if this applies to all residency programs. I'll just talk about what was required in my residency applications. Very briefly, the first thing would be your transcript from medical school. Second thing is your medical student performance record. At the end of each core rotation during your clerkship years, you will get a comment from your site coordinator. So that all gets compiled into one record. You also need to submit your CV. Generally, each program requires 3 reference letters. It can be from your core rotations, but commonly it's also from your electives. Each program will also usually have personal statements required, and then of course, a headshot. I have a short clip from when I took my headshots with my older sister, so I'll include that here for funsies.
We just took my headshot and we're so happy with it. Woo, woo.
This is what's gonna set the tone for my entire application.
And we set the tone right.
Personally, I really like to start early. I know that writing is not a strong skill of mine. I'm someone that likes to get it read over by people close to me, people who I trust and who know me very well. So I want to give them enough time to read it over and edit it. I know some friends of mine like to start later. So, think about the kind of person you are. I'll just say it here. Starting early never hurts, okay? I wish I would have done this early on, but really think about what's important to you, and that will naturally come out in your writing. Hello again. I'm helping my friend set up this room for her birthday. I will tell you, I was pretty set on surgery. As I went through clerkship, I just realized that I saw parts of myself in almost every specialty, and that caused a lot of confusion and doubt in my initial career trajectory. What I thought I knew about myself, there was actually much more, and I realized I have different professional goals that I didn't know I had. I thought I wouldn't like internal, but I really do like it. I feel like surgery is hard. Some days on surgery, I'll feel so down, but operating is really another experience. And just being able to see the anatomy is really, really nice. This is my last week on anesthesia. I'm really hoping to join another anesthesiologist on their call shifts. I just feel like there's more to see. Overall, it was a pretty brief rotation, but really, really enjoyed it. I feel like it does a really good job of merging what we do in the OR with our knowledge of medicine. I've seen ENT cases through my anesthesia rotation, and it's very technical. So there's a lot of hands-on work. Scoping is a lot lot of fun. Lots of different procedural skills that you get to practice on emergency. It's just a lot of fun overall. You know, there's never a dull moment.
I see the appeal of OB. You see such happy moments of people's lives and you get to be a part of that. And I think that's so special and unique.
Today's my last day on OB-GYN. I'm actually a little sad about it. I think I'm gonna miss this rotation. I'm starting to realize the broad scope of knowledge that a family physician needs to have. So admirable. So as someone who doesn't love uncertainty, this was a very tough period of time for me. It is March 15th, 2024. My elective schedule is a mess. My plan is complete chaos. I just feel like no matter what I do, I'm running in circles. This is the current plan. So I have been connected to the director of career advising. Another thing that I'm going to do is use careers in medicine resource, which is completing different assessments that focus on my values, my interests. It gives me a list of specialties that they think might be suited towards me. So I'm gonna do this, and then I've already set up another follow-up meeting with this career counselor for next week. We'll just take it from there, okay? See you later. So with career paths, and specifically with pivoting specialties, some recommendations that I have is to start shadowing early. As a medical student, before clerkship, before you're ever even in the hospital, shadow the staff who have been working for years in that specialty. Something else that I started doing was speaking with a career counselor. I have an appointment with my career counselor. Came into a call room. I think a lot of the anxiety is coming from making a decision so late because I want to go into the whole application process like somewhat confident in my decision. This is a resource that I sought out in a phase of crisis. I was already halfway through clerkship and I wasn't sure what to do next. But if I could go back, I would probably speak with a career counselor a little early, develop and establish that relationship early on, and really be intentional about the things that I value the most in a career. The last thing that I want to say is please keep an open mind. I want to reassure you that everything will be okay. I know it sounds a little cheesy, but you know, just hearing that out loud I think would have went a long way for me. I knew that my role was no longer in surgery, but then it led me to the question of, okay, then where do I see myself? In reflecting on the type of person I am and what my professional goals are, I have decided to apply to anesthesiology and internal medicine. So I have parallel planned, that is what we call it, dual applied. But yeah, something about that combination of preparation, but being a leader in acute situations and making a difference in that perioperative period really resonated with me for anesthesia. And in internal, you're often having very complex diagnostic challenges. There's a lot of collaboration, whether it's with the patient and their families, allied health, and being the liaison between consultants. Like I really felt fulfilled in all of that. So these are two specialties that I didn't expect to like, but I'm glad that I do, and I see myself in both. And I've applied to a total of 24 programs.
Because each program had different requirements, I kept a checklist to track everything and double-checked each application in the portal before submitting. I know it's tedious, but it really helped to avoid that last-minute panic.
I've applied broadly to all anesthesia programs, and I've applied to around 6 internal medicine programs. And I've also split my electives evenly between anesthesia and internal medicine. Sometime in February, I had to choose my electives. And it's really funny because looking back on that time now, I was still pretty unsure of what I wanted to do. Today is the actual day where the elective portal opens, and I still do not know what I will be choosing. We purposely choose electives in the specialty that we're considering, and I'm just all over the place right now. So as you can see, this is my Excel sheet. On the y-axis here, you see the time period that I hope to do my electives. One more minute. No, it's not loading. Oh, I see it. It opened. Okay, click create new elective request. I've split my electives pretty evenly between ENT and anesthesia. I've just decided to follow my gut and just split it between the two. I also sprinkled some internal medicine electives in there because I really enjoyed that rotation. Like, I feel like everything, my whole schedule that I've drafted up is gonna change completely. So I'm trying to stay flexible. But I just wanted to give you an update and see how this develops. I want to look back on this and see where did I start and how did I end. All my electives were 2 weeks long, which is pretty standard, but you can choose to do like 3 weeks, 4 weeks in the same elective. I did my first 3 in anesthesia.
Today's my first day of my anesthesia elective. I'm excited, but mostly I'm super nervous. I barely got any sleep last night. 3 pens, scrub cap, scrunchie, stethoscope, pocket notebook, stickies, paper.
Preparation is everything. I like to start things in advance. I like to read around my cases. It's okay to not know everything, but putting your best foot forward and putting in that effort, showing that you're someone who's eager to learn. This is more of a practical tip, but you'll likely be at different hospital sites. Make sure you have all of your onboarding items in order. Make sure you have EMR access, you grab your hospital badge early on. If you need scrubs, you have scrub access. Introduce yourself to the entire team. I know that can easily go missed, but it goes a long way to know who you'll be working with. Actively seeking out feedback sessions was something that I wish I would have done earlier. Be attentive, be willing to help, be a team player. This seems like obvious things, but I don't know, I think you'll be surprised by how much of a difference this makes. The last thing, which is showing genuine interest, and I really think this comes naturally if you choose a career that you are genuinely interested in. Like I mentioned earlier, you want great reference letters, and I feel like it's very easy to overwork myself. Like I was definitely putting in my 1000% when it comes to elective periods. That's what I wanted to do. I wasn't getting much sleep. I definitely wasn't taking care of myself as well as I should have. I honestly didn't have the bandwidth to do anything outside of working at the hospital and working on my applications. I'll just mention some of the things that I've been doing that I feel like have helped. Most of the time I'll leave my house to try to work, but I feel like that's not very sustainable. So I've brought out like my monitor, my keyboard, my computer, everything out into my living space right next to the window so that I have sunlight. Another thing that I've been doing is making sure that I stay on top of my sleep. I am a night owl through and through. Recently, I've been taking my quality and my quantity of sleep more seriously so that I can be energized in the morning and also be better for like the patients and like the medical team. What's really been important is leaning on family and friends during this time. So I owe everything to them. A long journey, but I think it'll make it that much more rewarding in the end. I'm in the process of trying to get my interview set up. So here we have 4 different sources of light. We have this one here, the ring light, the desk lamp, just another lamp. So this is my outfit. This entire interview fit was sponsored by a friend. So I'm gonna do a quick camera test right now and see what it's looking like. For interviews, I think arguably it's one of the most important parts of your application. Finally, they're speaking with you. Your personality really shows through in your interviews. It allows them to get to know who you'll be as a person who they'll be working with in the future. For me, this always starts with reflecting. It can look different for a lot of people. I like to video journal. It doesn't really matter what the shape or form is as long as it's being done. Second thing is that there are tons of sample interview questions that anyone can find online, which is what's great about the internet. They usually fall in 3 general categories. One is personal questions. There are 2 staple questions that I would definitely be ready for, which is tell me about yourself and also why this specialty. If you're applying to surgery, well, why surgery? If you have a strong, genuine answer to those, it's such a solid foundation to build from. Second one is like behavioral questions, which usually sounds like, oh, tell me about a situation where, which is why reflecting is so important, because at this point you thought about, experiences that challenged you or made you learn something. And this is such a big tip of mine is throughout clerkship, I kept a case log of different patient interactions that I felt were meaningful or taught me something. This is a case log that I actually went back to during my personal statement writing process and then also when I was interview prepping. It's so crazy how easily we forget certain things that happened, but when you have it down, it instantly triggers that memory and you remember, okay, this is such a great situation to talk about and share. And I would say the last thing is like ethical questions, where they will give you a hypothetical scenario and then they just want to see your thought process throughout it all.
Interviews were definitely one of the more intimidating parts of this whole process, at least for me. So I'll be completely honest, I started really early, even before receiving any interview offers. And I formed a few interview prep groups right off the bat. We met regularly over Zoom. We took turns asking each other questions, giving each other feedback, and closer to actual interviews, we even ran full mock interviews. At one point, I had a few different groups going and I was prepping almost daily.
4th prep session of the day.
Something else that I did was also practicing alone. I recorded myself and I watched the videos back, which was awkward at first, but surprisingly I found it to be effective. And I'm not saying all this to try and scare you in any way. I just wanted to be completely real about my own experience in all of this. I will say that at some point it did feel like I was maybe over-prepared or maybe rehearsed in some way. So I think there is a point of diminishing returns, and finding that balance was difficult, and it'll be a personal experience for everyone. Burnout is so real. Yes, prep is important, but so is rest. So I would definitely try to make space for both. When interview day came, my goal was pretty simple, which was just to be myself. So I was honest about my specialty pivot and how I approach parallel planning, and I really just tried to connect. I am so grateful and pleasantly surprised that I got a total of 12 interviews. 9 of them are anesthesia, 3 of them are internal medicine. So as you can see, I also got declined interview offers to several programs, and I'll be honest, initially I felt pretty discouraged. I felt that I worked hard, but maybe I could have done better, and then just spiraling into self-doubt. But what really helped me was reminding myself that there are so many different factors at play, things that we'll never see or things that we'll never know. So if you're in the thick of it, remind yourself of everything you've accomplished thus far and hang in there.
This is the first day of our protected interview time, and my first interview just happened to land on the very first day.
My first one was panel. It was very conversational and casual, just them getting to know me. The majority of my interviews are MMI style. So the MMI, or the multiple mini interview format, is a series of several different interview stations, each with a different interviewer. It's a way of providing more, I guess, of a standardized evaluation of applicants, because you're getting a new perspective with every question. Well, I have my second interview today in about less than an hour. This is now my 3rd interview that I just finished. This is my 4th interview of the season. I've just finished my 6th interview. So that means that we are officially at the halfway point. Woohoo! So today was an especially important day for me because I did 2 interviews at the same school, and it just so happens to be an important location in a school for me because it's where I grew up, where I have my close family and friends. So it's definitely higher on my list. There was more pressure going into my interviews for today. Not gonna lie, it was tough. I just put my best foot forward, and so all that's left to do is hope for a good outcome. I can't believe we're here, you guys. We are at the second last interview. That means that we've done 10 interviews so far. This is my 11th interview. You know what? I think I'm proud of myself. After today's interview, I am going to go take my grad photos. It made me think, wow, I'm actually graduating this year, which is crazy. We are finally at our very last interview of the season. Woo! I'm just excited to be done. I'll be completely honest. Am I nervous? A little bit. I think I'll always be nervous, but I'm more excited to just be done with this. Anywho, final interview of the season. Cheers, everyone. Once interviews are over, then it becomes a dilemma about our ranking list, which is essentially our ranking for the different programs, and the programs will do the same for their applicants. Navigating uncertainty can be really daunting, especially when it comes to subjective things like a rank order list for different programs, because there's so many variables we need to consider, like the curriculum, the community, the city that we'll have to live in for the next 5 years. Just knowing myself, I'm probably gonna create a list or an Excel sheet. I just feel like this helps to ease my anxiety and ensure that I'm making a very well thought out, logical decision. Personally, I was looking for programs that offered strong clinical training. So with anesthesia, for example, a solid simulation program and exposure to the full breadth of the specialty. Essentially, I wanted to feel that I'd come out well prepared. The program's culture was also really important. So the vibes, the people. If I had a visiting elective somewhere, then I paid close attention to how the residents talked about each other and how the faculty supported them. I also wanted to be somewhere close to my family and friends since they're very important to me. And so when I was ranking the programs, I also talked to them and I got their input. So my friend is making for me a pros and cons list for each program.
Is it showing like my type A side?
Yeah. But ultimately, it did come down to what felt right for me.
today is March 3rd, which means it's the day before match. So for anyone who went unmatched, they will get an email letting them know. And I didn't get an email. I definitely matched. I just don't know where. But at least we're matched. So that's good news. Oh my god, only 5 more minutes!
Do you have your computer like set up?
Yeah. I'm logged in. I just need to click match results.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm clicking it. It's taking a long time to load.
It's okay. Everyone's probably clicking.
Oh my god, my heart is pounding.
Oh no, my heart's pounding too.
Oh my gosh, 언니. I got anesthesia! Oh my god! What? This is crazy!
So there you have it. I'm so happy I got to share that I did match to my top choice program. It's a program that I genuinely felt was the right fit for me and is something that I don't take for granted.
The match process can feel all-consuming. It felt like, everything I worked for, came down to this one moment. And what I came to realize is that matching is such an incredible milestone, but it doesn't define you. It is not by any means a reflection of who you are or the type of physician you'll become. I know that was a lot, but I wanted to include at the end here. For anyone in a similar position, hopefully this video helps you feel supported, like you're not alone in all of this. And I just want to say good luck and have a great day. Goodbye.